Leg cramps. They're not random after 60. And if your breakfast this morning was missing what something as simple as oatmeal topped with pumpkin seeds can quietly give your muscles, you may already be setting yourself up for another painful night. That tightness in your calf at 2 in the morning. The one that locks so hard you can't move your foot. The one that leaves you sore into the next day and afraid to fall back asleep. That didn't start at bedtime. It started hours earlier. It may have started at breakfast. Or it may have started because there was no real breakfast at all. Most seniors are told the same thing. Wait until night, take a magnesium pill, maybe eat a banana, hope for the best. However, a Cochrane research review found that magnesium supplements alone did not significantly reduce nocturnal leg cramps in older adults. Which means the fix most people are reaching for at bedtime may not be the fix at all. The real problem may have started 12 hours earlier, with what your muscles never received at the first meal of the day. And that's the part nobody explains. Not the pill bottle, not the banana, not the advice you've been hearing for years. The part where your body was already running behind before the sun went down. There's an entire system working against you after 60. It's not one mineral missing. It's not one bad night. It's a pattern, an outdated, incomplete, one-pill way of thinking about what your muscles actually need, and it has never caught up to what the research now shows. My name is Dr. David Colin, and I need you to understand something before we go any further. This is for educational purposes only. Always discuss changes with your own doctor. What I'm sharing today comes from published nutrition research, government health data, and peer-reviewed reviews. It's not a prescription. It's a conversation I believe you deserve to have. After 60, everything changes, and most people aren't told why. Your body handles minerals differently. It absorbs less. It loses more. And the advice you were given 20 years ago didn't account for any of that. By the time I'm done today, you'll know exactly which 4 breakfast foods help refill the minerals your calves depend on. And more importantly, you'll understand why they work together in a way that no single pill or single food ever does alone. Before we finish, I'm going to show you the one breakfast pattern that makes these 4 foods function as a system, not 4 separate health tips that leave you with one lonely mineral that never solves the problem. One of these 4 foods is famous for cramps. You already know which one, but it's not strong enough on its own. I'll show you exactly why. Let me show you what's actually happening inside your body on a morning when breakfast is weak or missing. Think of your muscles like a rechargeable battery. Every night that battery drains. Your calves contract, they release, they fire again. And the minerals that let them do that, magnesium, potassium, calcium, they get used up in the process. By morning, the battery is low. Now, if the first thing you put into your body is coffee and toast, or nothing at all, what happens to that battery? It doesn't recharge. It stays low, and it goes into the rest of the day already behind. So why are seniors still being told to handle this at bedtime? Because the old thinking was simple. Cramp at night? Take something at night. But the National Institutes of Health now make it clear. Older adults tend to have lower magnesium intakes overall, reduced gut absorption of magnesium with age, and higher renal losses, meaning your kidneys flush out more magnesium than they used to. That's 3 separate drains running at the same time, and none of them wait until bedtime to start. The Mayo Clinic states it plainly. Too little potassium, calcium, or magnesium in the diet can contribute to leg cramps, and age itself raises the risk. Not one mineral. 3. Working together. Or failing together. Here's the first food, and I'm starting with it because most people skip right past it on their way to the banana. Plain yogurt. Not the flavored kind loaded with sugar. Plain, low-fat yogurt. 1 cup. That single cup delivers roughly 400 milligrams of calcium, over 500 milligrams of potassium, and a meaningful amount of magnesium, all in one food, first thing in the morning. Those numbers come straight from the USDA's Food Data Central database. Think about what that means. 1 food, 3 minerals, before you've even left the kitchen. That's not a snack, that's a mineral foundation. Most seniors never connect this to that. Today, you will. Calcium isn't just about bones. Calcium is part of how your muscle contracts in the first place. Without enough calcium signaling, the contraction doesn't fire cleanly. And without the potassium and magnesium to help that muscle release afterward, it stays locked. That's the cramp. Yogurt starts your day with all 3. Not perfectly, not completely, but meaningfully. It puts a floor under the system instead of leaving it empty. Now, layer 2. This is where that bowl of oatmeal on the counter starts to matter. A single packet of instant oatmeal, the plain kind, gives you around 36 milligrams of magnesium. That's according to the NIH Office of Dietary Supplements. On its own, that number sounds small. But here's what changes. You're not eating it on its own. You're adding it on top of the yogurt, on top of what you've already started rebuilding. Magnesium, think of it like the off switch for your muscles. When it's there, the muscle fires and then releases. When it's not, the muscle fires and keeps firing. That's a cramp. That's what's happening at 3 in the morning. Oatmeal doesn't fix it by itself, but oatmeal stacked on top of yogurt starts doing something that a pill at 10 o'clock at night simply cannot. It starts early. It absorbs slowly. It gives your body hours to distribute the mineral where it's needed before the night even begins. Have you been starting the day full or already behind? There's one small topping that most people treat as optional, but it may be the most important item in this entire breakfast. I'll get to it in a moment. You know now why this starts. You know the battery drains at night and most breakfasts don't refill it. But knowing where it starts is only part of the story. Where it leads, and which food most seniors trust too much, that's what no one ever showed you. Let's talk about the banana, because I know, the moment I said leg cramps, you thought of a banana. Everybody does. It's the most common answer in America to the question, what do I eat for cramps? And it's not wrong, but it's dangerously incomplete. A medium banana gives you about 422 milligrams of potassium. That number comes directly from the NIH. It sounds like a lot, but the recommended daily intake of potassium for adults over 50 is between 2,600 and 3,400 milligrams per day, depending on sex. One banana gets you roughly 12 to 16% of the way there. 12%. That's it. So when a senior eats one banana before bed and wakes up with the same calf cramp at 2 a.m., they don't think the banana wasn't enough. They think, nothing works for me. They think it's just age. They stop trying. This is not age. This is something your body is doing, and we can fix it. The banana is useful. Keep it. But keep it as part of the stack, not as the whole answer. It's your potassium layer, not your rescue plan. Now the fourth food, and this one is the quiet powerhouse that most seniors walk right past. Pumpkin seeds, 1 ounce. That's a small handful, the kind you'd sprinkle on top of oatmeal without thinking twice. 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds contains approximately 156 milligrams of magnesium. That's according to the NIH Office of Dietary Supplements. Let me put that in perspective. That small sprinkle, that little handful you almost didn't bother with, gives you more magnesium than most magnesium supplements deliver in a single capsule. From real food, absorbed naturally, at breakfast. If that sounds like something you've never been told before, stay with me. Because this is where the whole picture starts to come together. When you put yogurt, oatmeal, a banana, and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds on the same table at the same meal, you're not eating 4 random health foods. You're building a mineral system. Calcium from the yogurt to support the contraction signal. Magnesium from the oatmeal and the pumpkin seeds to support the release signal. Potassium from the banana and the yogurt to help maintain the electrical balance that keeps the whole muscle cycle stable. That's not a fad. That's not a trend. That's basic mineral physiology delivered through food your body already knows how to use. And here's what makes the stack different from the pill. The stack arrives early. It absorbs over hours. It gives your muscles a running start on a day that used to begin on empty. The pill arrives late. It arrives alone. And according to the Cochrane Review, for many older adults, it arrives without making a meaningful difference. Most seniors manage one piece of the puzzle. One banana, one supplement, one thing they heard somewhere. But the puzzle has 4 pieces, and when any one of them is missing, the others can't finish the job. That's why the cramp keeps coming back. Your doctor never told you this, but I will. I want to pause here for a moment, because this is a question only you can answer. I want you to drop a letter in the comments right now. If you still believe night-led cramps are mostly a bedtime problem, drop the letter A. If you believe they start with what your muscles are missing from the first meal of the day, drop the letter B. I read every single comment personally. Let me know below. And now here's the part I've been building toward. Everything I just told you is real, and it matters. But there's something that changes all of it, something almost no one talks about. And once you understand it, you'll never look at night leg cramps the same way again. The real reason these cramps keep returning after 60 may not be a simple deficiency at all. It may be a delivery failure. Here's what I mean. You can eat the yogurt, you can eat the oatmeal, you can add the banana and the pumpkin seeds, but if your body after 60 cannot absorb the magnesium properly, or if a medication you take every day is quietly flushing potassium or magnesium out faster than you can put it back in, then the food you ate at breakfast never fully reaches the muscle that cramps at night. The NIH states this directly. Older adults are at increased risk for magnesium inadequacy because intestinal absorption decreases and renal excretion increases with age. That's your gut taking in less and your kidneys pushing out more at the same time. And then there are the medications. Proton pump inhibitors, the kind prescribed for acid reflux, have been associated with reduced magnesium absorption when used long-term. The NIH Office of Dietary Supplements flags this explicitly. Thiazide and loop diuretics, commonly prescribed for blood pressure, can increase the loss of both magnesium and potassium through the kidneys. And that's happening every single day, whether you eat breakfast or not. What if the mineral is there, but not getting where it needs to go? That's the delivery failure. That's the twist. The problem isn't always that you're not eating the right food. The problem is that something in your body, age itself, a common medication, dehydration you didn't notice, is blocking the delivery. This is why a single magnesium pill at 10 p.m. disappoints so many seniors. It's not that magnesium doesn't matter, it does. It's that one isolated mineral, arriving late, taken without the supporting cast of potassium, calcium, and adequate fluid, has almost no chance of doing what you need it to do by 3 a.m. Harvard School of Public Health makes this point clearly. Magnesium works in concert with other minerals and nutrients. Isolating it, pulling it out of the food matrix and delivering it as a single late-night supplement, strips away the context that helps it function. I'm telling you this because nobody else in this space will. Now, and this is important, if you take any of these medications, I am not telling you to stop. That is a conversation between you and your prescribing doctor. What I am telling you is that if you're on a diuretic, a PPI, or any medication that affects kidney function, and your calves keep cramping despite eating well, the medication may be part of the reason. And your doctor needs to know that the cramps are happening so they can evaluate the full picture. The NIH Office of Dietary Supplements also flags an important caution for potassium specifically. Seniors with chronic kidney disease, or those taking ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics, need to be careful about increasing potassium intake without medical guidance. Too much potassium when your kidneys can't clear it properly is its own serious problem. So food first is wise, but doctor first is wiser. Most seniors never get this far. They manage one piece of the puzzle, but they miss the delivery failure, and that gap is exactly what keeps the problem returning. Night after night, week after week. Believing it's just age. It's not just age. And here's what you can do about it, starting tomorrow morning. The breakfast pattern that makes all 4 of these foods work together instead of working alone looks like this. The first step is your mineral base. Start with a cup of plain, low-fat yogurt. That's your calcium anchor, roughly 400 milligrams. It's also giving you potassium and some magnesium before anything else hits the table. If you can't do dairy, a calcium-fortified plant-based yogurt can stand in, but check the label with your doctor or dietitian to make sure the mineral content is comparable. The second step, and this is the one most seniors skip because it seems too simple, is your magnesium layer. A bowl of plain oatmeal. Cooked, warm, nothing fancy. That oatmeal delivers magnesium in a whole grain form your body absorbs slowly and steadily across the morning. And on top of that oatmeal, a small handful of pumpkin seeds. 1 ounce. That tiny sprinkle alone delivers about 156 milligrams of magnesium. Together, the oatmeal and the seeds are doing more for your magnesium levels at 7 a.m. than a supplement capsule tries to do at 10 p.m. The third step is your potassium layer. 1 banana. Sliced into the oatmeal or eaten alongside. You already know 1 banana doesn't cover the full day, but stacked on top of the yogurt's potassium, it pushes the total meaningfully higher, And it does it with fiber, natural sugars, and a food form your gut handles well. The fourth step is the one people forget. Fluid. A glass of water with this meal. Because dehydration after 60 is sneaky. The Mayo Clinic lists it as a contributing factor to muscle cramps on its own. And minerals without adequate hydration can't move through the system the way they need to. So to be clear, yogurt is your calcium-potassium base. Oatmeal with pumpkin seeds is your magnesium layer. Banana is your potassium boost. Water ties it all together. That's one meal. 4 minerals addressed, hours before bedtime. The goal is not to chase the cramp at night. The goal is to stop starting the day behind. The National Institute on Aging recommends that older adults aim to get nutrients from food first and speak with a healthcare provider before making supplement changes. That's exactly what this breakfast pattern is built on. Real food, recognizable food, food you may already have in the kitchen right now. Most seniors never connect this to that. Today you did. You connected the morning meal to the midnight cramp. You connected the empty start to the painful wake-up. You connected 4 ordinary foods to the mineral system your calves have been quietly begging for. And I want to be honest with you about the limits. This breakfast pattern supports normal muscle function by rebuilding the mineral inputs your muscles depend on. It does not guarantee you'll never cramp again. If your cramps are frequent, severe, only on one side, or happening alongside numbness, swelling, or muscle weakness, that is not a breakfast problem. That is a medical evaluation you need to have. Tell your doctor. Describe the pattern. Let them rule out anything deeper. For the majority of seniors who wake up with tight calves 2 or 3 times a week, who've tried the banana, who've tried the pill, who've done everything they were told and still feel that lock in the middle of the night, this breakfast stack is a credible, research-supported starting point that addresses what one food or one pill never could. Before I let you go, there's one more thing, and this might be the most important part of everything I've said today. If the cramps are persistent, if they keep coming despite eating well, despite hydrating, despite doing everything right, don't accept that as normal aging, especially if you're taking medications that affect your kidneys or your mineral levels. That pattern deserves a conversation with your doctor. Not next month, soon. The most effective breakfast approach is a stack, not a single miracle food. 4 foods, 4 minerals, 1 morning routine that stops your muscles from entering the night already empty. But now that you understand which breakfast foods begin refilling the minerals your calves depend on, there's something else happening in many bodies after 60 that makes even the right foods less effective. And that's what happens at dinner. Low-potassium evening meals can quietly undo the mineral work your breakfast started, and most seniors have no idea their dinner is draining what their morning built. I cover exactly that in the next video. Watch it now.